Hi, in this video I'm gonna give you a quick tour on the GUI, the Octave interface, and show you what we have in the Octave interface. Usually when you open it, this is what you are gonna get. I myself would prefer to have it like this. So I'm gonna talk about each of those windows that we have. The most common one is the command window that we have here, and every command that we type is gonna be, or run, is gonna be shown here in the command window. So for example, if I want to say that this, so the this command display, so it's going this, for example, hello world, and then it's gonna run it here. So basically we can run the commands in this command window here. It goes on. If you want to just clear this and have a fresh group, you can just type the CLC and you press that, it will clear that command window for you. Here, this part here is the file explorer. So basically you can select where you want to go, or the file that you have is going to be shown here. So later on I will show you if you have a file. This part is the variable explorer. So if we have a variable, it show all the variable here. So if, for example, I go here and type sorry, if I come here and type a is equal to 1, then come here, a is equal to 1, and then press enter, then you can see the a is going to be shown here. If come the b equal to, it's going to be shown there, and c equal to for example 1 2 3 4 5, it's gonna, all of those is going to be shown here. So all the variable we have is going to be shown in this window. Call it in MATLAB here, they call it workspace, but it's just basic variable explorer. And if you click on each of them, it's going to open this tab here, the variable editor, and you can see that variable there. So if I double click on the C, it goes to the variable editor, and basically it shows what I got in that variable. So it shows there's a variable C, and these are the values of in that variable that I have. So the variable explorer here. Here is the command history, and again, if you come here, click on the command window, go back command window. So here is the command history. Any of the command you want to run it, you can come here and double click on that, and it will just run that for you. So you can see that command is going to be run again if you just double click on that. And down here we have a couple of tabs. So the first one is the command window, the second one is the documentation. So if you want to look at some of the documentation here, or the function list or search, you can come here and look at the documentation. Usually you can find a better help on the math work, the MATLAB documentation online. I suggest you to do that. The next one is the variable editor, which we talked about. Let's say if you double click on any of these variables, it's going to be shown here. And the next is the editor. So basically, if you write the code, you are going to write the code here. So if I, for example, want to write this hello world, and the same code here, and for example this again 1 2 3 same code here. So it's gonna whatever code I have, I can put it there, I can save it here, and assume I go just save that test, and remember it should have a extension of .m. So if I save it here, you will see it's going to be shown here in the variable explorer. To run that, I can come here and click on that. It will save the run and will run it, and you can see the output here in the command window. If I go back here again, if I want to run just part of the code, I can select that code, right click on that, and then run selection or press F9. So it only runs that part of the code that we selected, not the entire code. Select all that and it's gonna run that part of the code for me there. This part, maybe we'll talk about them later, just for debugging. If we have a big code and we want to debug that and go through that, see step by step how our code is run, we can go through that, so I'll leave it later. The couple of other things here that I want to mention is that is the preference. If you go in the preference, usually it takes a little bit time to open the preference windows, but when it's open, you can go and change a couple of things there. One of the things I would change is go to the editor, go down, and in the indentation, I would change these to 4. I don't know why it's 2. Usually the tab or indentation indents is by, I don't want to say by some, but it's more acceptable to be 4 rather than 2. You can walk around, and if you want to make any changes, you can change there as well. Also here, if you want, when you are in the file here, if you click, if you want to find any, if you have a very big file, want to find any specific phrases or want to replace it, we can come here and use this command here. So here, the quick introduction about the Octave interface. One other thing before I forget here is that if you use the up and down arrow, usually you can go back and forth between the previous command that you type. So it's a very quick introduction on the interface of the Octave, and in the later video when we start to talk about them, how to write a MATLAB code, if I come up with any new things, I will tell you about them later.